A Russian cosmonaut fell into a secret station in the USA during a zombie apocalypse. I'm a friend. Hello everyone, Kinejek is in touch and this is a short retelling of the 7th and 8th episodes of the zombie TV series Nation Z. My friend, if suddenly you accidentally stumbled upon this video from the recommendations, then I strongly recommend that you open the description and follow the links in it to see the beginning of this bombastic story. And as soon as this video gets 500 likes, I release the next part. Enjoy watching. Everyone is in Kansas right now mourning the heavy loss of Charles Garnett. Citizen Z gives a eulogy, and Roberta looks out of the window with a broken heart. When the truck has problems with the radiator, Adamak decide to go ahead on a motorcycle to find help. When Doc and Sniper fix the truck themselves, Sniper gets behind the wheel, apparently for the first time, and Doc teaches him the basics of driving. Meanwhile, the magician is thinking about leaving the group, but Audie says that it would be selfish to abandon both friends and his mission. Max agrees to stay with the team, but unfortunately, at the fork in the road they went the wrong way as the rest of the group. After that, the team splits up. With a Sniper at the wheel, the truck stops at Dad's called Fubar. There Doc meets an old friend named Sketchy McLean. Sketchy tells them there are no zombies for 100 miles in any direction, but Mac and Audie have just seen an advancing horde of zombies, proving him wrong. While Roberto is getting drunk, the team needs a new truck, so they decide to stay late and take part in shooting competitions. The Sniper finds out that he has competition with a Korean girl named Brittany, who apparently also has a good command of a sniper rifle. At the bar, Doc meets a seedy man named Foreman, who tells them about his giant car. Murphy decides to do without negotiating for Foreman's car by lashing out at its owner while he urinates on the barn wall, although things go a little wrong when Murphy bursts in for a second and actually bites the drunk survivor. Meanwhile, Roberta gets drunk herself and gets close to the bartender, while the shooting competition begins, and the Sniper falls in love with Brittany. Soon, a wounded and enraged Foreman enters the bar again and tells everyone that Murphy bit him. In the north, at the listening station, Citizen Z realizes that some kind of dust storm, which turns out to be a horde of wandering zombies, is rolling into western Kansas. As a result of a stylish shootout, 4 new zombies appear, which are killed fairly quickly. When Doc asks Murphy about biting a man, Murphy tries to convince him that he didn't. Murphy runs away, finds Foreman shot, extracts his tooth from Foreman's wound and puts it back in his mouth. Meanwhile, a horde of zombies is approaching. Roberta discusses Charlie's death and spends a tense moment with the inanimate bartender before killing him. Sniper and Brittany end the shooting competition in a draw, just as a horde of zombies begins a serious invasion. A Sniper wins a prize when he shows mercy to the driver of an ice cream van that was used to lure zombie targets in shooting competitions. When he and Brittany escape, she runs out of ammo, and he saves her father by shooting a pursuing zombie in the head. He gives Brittany a Chinese-made AMA-2 sniper rifle that he just won, and she kisses him on the cheek. Meanwhile, Roberta is single-handedly killing a ton of zombies. As the team prepares to leave the bar, the Sniper is attacked by a zombie, but Brittany saves him with her newly acquired rifle. The episode ends with Mac and Audie witnessing a lot of zombies appear on their way. Shortly after an unidentified alarm went off at the listening station, Citizen Z's vision blurs for a second and, raising his head, he sees a fireball from outer space rushing towards Earth. A Russian spacecraft landed near the station. Meanwhile, in a small town in Nebraska, things are not important. The team barely manages to find water and they are almost dehydrated to run when a huge horde of zombies approaches them. Abandoning their truck, they finally reach the shelter at the coroner's office, where they are joined by new survivors. Returning to the listening station, Citizen Z meets the pilot of the Russian spacecraft Yuri, a good-natured-looking cosmonaut. They drink Earl Grey tea, and Yuri talks about how hard life was on his space station and how he escaped on an escape capsule. They take out vodka and raise a toast to their survival. In Nebraska, Murphy is trying to rally the squad when one of the new survivors reveals that zombies are migrating from Canada because they don't like the cold. Most of the zombies were part of the survivor colonies in Alberta that transformed within a week. Murphy wonders if the zombies have a real leader when the team hears a scratching sound coming from a nearby morgue. Doc and the sniper kill the zombies, and the team starts climbing into the body locker to hide. Back in the north, Citizen Z and Yuri play games and make friends. For Citizen Z, this is touching, until Yuri calls Citizen Z Simon instead of his nickname. In Nebraska, everyone climbs into the body vault, but by the time Roberta has sheltered everyone, the remaining block is occupied by zombies. When Roberta lets Murphy swaddle her in a body bag, she asks him not to leave them, as getting him to California is vital. He tells her that she took him as far as she could. Returning to the north, Citizen Z begins to suspect his new friend. Things get even stranger and more dangerous when Citizen Z comes out of the bathroom and discovers Yuri in a space station costume. A big fight begins, which ends with Yuri being tied to a chair. Yuri continues to ask Citizen Z what happened to his dog. The dog slept most of the day and all the time while Yuri was there. Meanwhile, in Nebraska, all the hidden members of the group conduct internal monologues while the sniper sleeps. The claustrophobia of the new survivor, Otis, takes over, and he tells them to all get out at the same time so they can attack the zombies together. Doc tells him that no one will go, but he doesn't listen. He gets out, but at the same moment he is eaten. Murphy meets a family that is hiding from a horde of zombies. He steals food and water from them and invites the zombified husband and father to return to the building to go to them. Returning to the north, Citizen Z is convinced that Yuri poisoned both him and the dog. While he is trying to figure it out, presumably with a splitting head, Yuri turns over the tables and now ties Citizen Z to a chair. The astronaut keeps asking, "What do you know?" Yuri asks Citizen Z what has changed today, as Citizen Z continues to believe that both he and his dog were poisoned. Yuri begins to strangle Citizen Z, asking what has changed, and Citizen Z says he has no oxygen. At this moment, the truth is revealed: Yuri was a hallucination caused by the rapidly deteriorating mental state of Citizen Z due to lack of oxygen at the station. This is the reason for the unidentified alarm. Citizen Z drags his unconscious dog to the main doors as the fresh air revives them. Returning to Nebraska, the horde completely passed through the city. Murphy starts walking past the morgue, clearly intending to leave on his own, but stops and, sighing, turns back to the morgue. Murphy returns to the morgue with food and water, using his psychological abilities to distract the only remaining zombie from Roberta, who is still hiding in a body bag. She asks him where he got his food and water, and he replies that he took them from a dead family. In the north, Citizen Z fixes a carbon monoxide detector, and then returns to the video game. He sighs, looking at Yuri's empty chair. Then he and his dog stand in front of an open exterior door and he tells his dog that they are alone again. Back in Nebraska, the team hosts a family dinner on the table and congratulates Murphy for finding so much food and water. Meanwhile, Murphy looks in the mirror and realizes that he has changed more than he thought.